With the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card, you can earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases you want and purchases you need. That means you earn on what you want, like trying out that new workout class, and 2% cash rewards on what you need, like a foam roller for your sore muscles. That's the beauty of the Active Cash Credit Card. It's ready when you are, with unlimited 2% cash rewards. The Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. That's real life ready. Terms apply. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/activecash.
You're listening to a Mint podcast brought to you by HT Smartcast.
Good morning, listeners. Welcome to Top of the Morning by Mint, your weekday newscast that brings you 5 major stories from the world of business. It's Friday, July 5th, 2024. My name is Nelson John. Let's get started.
Top of the Morning by Mint.
Sensex and Nifty remained largely flat on Thursday. Both rose around 0.5% during trading hours yesterday. The share of foreign investors in HDFC Bank is set to drop below 55%. This is crucial for India's largest private lender, as its weight in the MSCI India Index will double. Investors are excited for this move. HDFC share price has increased by more than 16.5% over the last month. Despite this surge, HDFC share price has remained flat from a year ago. In sharp contrast, ICICI Bank share price has increased by more than 30% over the same period. HDFC's inclusion in the MSCI Index might provide some cheer for investors in the short term, but it has plenty to catch up. The banking industry in India looks quite different than it did just 5 years ago. In September 2019, the Reserve Bank of India had directed all banks to link their interest rates to the repo rate as well as the treasury bonds. This meant that when any change in RBI's repo rate or the bond yields took place, the interest rates that the bank charged to consumers would change proportionally. Prior to that, banks were quick to pass on the interest rate hikes, but not the savings that came with rate cuts. Shayan Ghosh writes that this transmission has been swift. 58% of all floating loans in India are now tied to rates standardized by RBI. The regulator's main motive is to protect consumers and is doing a good job so far under Governor Shaktikanta Das. At Mint, we are closely following the next union budget. Our big budget story of the day is that the government is planning on easing business-related hurdles, plugging in tax gaps, and recalibrating customs duties to empower domestic companies. The industries that are set to benefit from this move are textiles and engineering goods, reports Girish Chandra Prasad and Rick Kundu. Policymakers want to improve domestic production of goods and will resort to these protective measures to ensure Indian companies fare better than its foreign counterparts. The Indian startup industry has had one major complaint for the entirety of its existence: the angel tax. This was a duty amounting to 30.6%, a steep price to pay when any startup is raising money. The government imposed it in 2012 and earlier this year extended it to NRIs as well. This made fundraising a much more expensive process for both investors and the startups. But finally, there's some reprieve. Dhirendra Kumar reports that the Ministry of Commerce has recommended that this tax be repealed. This decision now lies with the Ministry of Finance. If this goes through, expect a lot more investments in India's ever-growing startup industry. At its peak, Tiger Global was one of the most prolific venture capital funds around the globe. It grew to prominence via its investments in China, making billions of dollars in the process. In India, Tiger has invested in more than 160 companies. Some of its notable investments in India include Flipkart, Make My Trip, Zomato, and Ola. But that was the Tiger Global of yesterday. Today, its roars have turned into meek yelps, writes Ranjini Raghavan. Tiger has been only making smaller, follow-up investments these days and is afraid to take on big bets. The zero interest rate phenomenon is now dead, which means Tiger cannot afford to invest in companies that believe in a growth at all costs philosophy. That particular strategy allowed Tiger Global to grow to new heights, and it might be the reason why it failed spectacularly. We'd love to hear your feedback on this podcast. Let us know by writing to us at feedback@theratelifermint.com. You may send us feedback, tips, or anything that you feel we should be covering from your vantage point in the world of business and finance. That's all for today. Thank you for listening. We're eagerly looking forward to our next Top of the Morning episode, which will be packed with fresh business news. Until then, have a great weekend.
Top of the Morning by Mint.
With the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card, you can earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases you want and purchases you need. That means you earn on what you want, like trying out that new workout class, and 2% cash rewards on what you need, like a foam roller for your sore muscles. That's the beauty of the Active Cash Credit Card. It's ready when you are, with unlimited 2% cash rewards. The Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. That's real life ready. Terms apply. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/activecash.